Paprika, a true fever dream of an anime. I originally found this when I googled best animes about dreaming. Everyone seemed to absolutely love it, so I thought, hey, that's neat, I'll watch it too. So I went into it completely blind, and my goodness, I was not prepared for the madness that was this movie. They had giant skyscraper-sized naked ladies, they had tree tentacles, at least 3 instances of someone getting bored, they had size play, people's skin being peeled off their bodies, inflation, creepy non-consensual touching. They had all of this weirdness in the span of a 90-minute feature-length film. Like, what? This was easily one of the weirdest animes I've ever watched. I knew I had to make a video about it as soon as I was done. But before we get into the reviewing, allow me to set the stage for you. The year is 2006. Scientists have created a miraculous new device called the DC Mini, which allows a person to enter the dreams of another. Psychotherapists plan on using this device in order to explore the subconscious minds of their patients, in order to discover the root causes behind their anxieties and neurosis. Our main character is one of these researchers. By day, she's your standard cold-hearted 29-year-old psychotherapist, but by night, she goes by Paprika, an energetic 18-year-old woman who helps people solve their internal issues by exploring their dreams with them in order to solve their mental issues. Now, how does she go from being a 29-year-old woman to being an 18-year-old woman? I don't know. Movie never explained it. But anyways, the technology still hasn't been released to the public yet, and someone has gone and stolen one of these DC Mini devices. With the stolen device, one could, in theory, go into someone's mind and drive them insane from the inside out. Wow, ain't that a neat concept? On paper, I really like the idea. However, practically, the movie did some things right and a lot of things wrong. So let's start with the things I liked. The way they featured dreams in this movie was very true to life. Dreams blend into one another, making scene-to-scene transitions really awesome to see as you watch one setting shift and morph into another. The content and the visuals within these dreams was also very interesting. They definitely did a great job capturing just how strange dreams can get, from the eerie and creepy scenes to the energetic and wild scenes. They did a great job all around here. There's also a subplot involving Paprika trying to help a detective with his own dream anxieties. I absolutely love this, as the dreams directly reflected what kind of a person the detective is in a very true-to-life way. Every time we see more of his dreams, the more we can piece together who he is as a person and what sort of emotional troubles he's trying to sort through. This was a really creative use of dreams in order to unpack him as a character, so it gets an A+ for me. They also sprinkled in some subtle things about dreaming that I definitely appreciated as well. They talked about how dreams get longer the further you get into the night, thanks to REM sleep, and in addition to that, they also showcased reoccurring dreams and false awakenings as well, which are 2 aspects of dreaming that I find absolutely fascinating. Okay, so those are all the things that are good about the movie. Unfortunately, the movie fell short in a lot of ways, and I think a large portion of these issues are due to the movie's runtime. It is just 90 minutes long, which really works against it, as it has a lot of things to say, but not very much time to say it. Everything just feels rushed. There's no time spent building upon the world or setting to immerse you into things. You're just thrown face first into the action. Because of that, I didn't really have much of an attachment to any of the characters, which is unfortunate, because if they spent a little more time on this, they definitely could have made the characters feel a lot more meaningful. To give you an idea of this, near the start of the movie, they introduce a main character, and within 2 minutes of meeting him, the man jumps out a window, splatters against the pavement, and becomes hospitalized. I know the movie wants me to care about him, but I just met the dude 2 scenes ago. Please give the man a chance to read more than a paragraph of his script before yeeting him out a window. Like, come on! To make it worse, the rushed feel of it also led to confusion about the characters themselves. Like I mentioned, they never really explained the Paprika alter ego thing. I thought it was maybe like a dream personality or something. But then that dream personality is there in the real world, and it's less of a personality but more of an all-out transformation, I guess? When I checked the internet, I noticed that there was an 11-year gap between the 2 personas' ages, which only added to the confusion. On top of that, with the limited amount of time that we have with the characters, we never really get a good grasp on all of their reasoning and motivations behind what they're doing, which kept on making me stop and ask, wait, why is this person doing this again? For example, near the end of the movie, two characters fall in love with each other absolutely out of nowhere. Like, zero foreshadowing that there was any feelings for that person throughout the whole movie. And then, suddenly, bam, I love you in plot convenience. Wow. Because of this, I'm left with characters I don't really care much about, doing things I don't really understand, all while questioning the main character's split persona thing. However, all of this is taking place in some really cool dreams, which definitely helps distract me from all of the rushed characters. Although, there is definitely some things about the dreams that I do not like. I've already talked about the reasons why I like the detective's dreams. They are a personal reflection of him as a person, and everything in his dreams is a manifestation of that. However, a majority of the dreams that they enter throughout the movie are more generalized group dreams that belong to people who we either don't know or who have very little screen time. This ruins like half the fun. Sure, they can say things like, this dream belonged to a person with severe mental issues. Like, that's neat, but can we like meet this person instead of just hearing about them? And the nail in the coffin for me was the story in general. It starts off strong with a good premise, but as the story goes on, it seems to get more muddled and confusing. This is mostly due to the character reasons I mentioned earlier, along with things that just don't get explained. Like, there's two separate sections where the detective uses a normal laptop in order to access the dream world. The only explanation given for this is the internet and dreams are similar. That's it. That is a direct quote. No other explanation is given. Like, come on, give me something here, please. Also, there was one other thing that I really found kind of odd. There were several different villains in the movie, and all of them were either gay or bi. There was a plot reason for this, although it was really, really weak. It basically amounted to, this person was really gay and thirsty, so they did these major plot things because of that. It kind of took me off guard because I didn't really expect it. I can only assume that Japan's views on that sort of stuff was a bit different in 2006, or at least the director's views. But anyways, even if I overlook the weirdness around that and look at it objectively in terms of storytelling or character motivation, I would still say it's really pretty assy. The motivation behind a villain is very important in any story. If a story is able to make a villain relatable and understandable, then that makes them immediately more interesting and likable. It adds depth and it makes them actually feel like a real person living in a real world instead of a convenient character in a story. Like, take Zuko in Avatar: The Last Airbender. He's introduced as a prince who is casted out by his father. He wants nothing more than to redeem himself as a person, gain the respect of his father back, and regain his position of power in his kingdom. The way he goes about this is by trying to capture the main character with the help of his uncle, who tries to morally guide him along the way. Yes, this makes Zuko the bad guy, but at the same time there's a level of sympathy and understanding for why he is doing what he is doing. At the same time, that motivation tells us more about the world he lives in. It lets us see what kind of a person his father is, while showing us how the Fire Nation society works. In Paprika, however, the motivation for a majority of the villains is quite literally, gay/bi person is horny. And that's it. It's incredibly flat, lazy, and doesn't expand upon the world at all. A good villain with good reasoning behind his actions helps drive a story. It gives structure and a goal for the heroes to overcome. Without it, the story can feel aimless. The main thing that drives the story in Paprika is the fact that someone stole a DC Mini that didn't have any form of security built into it. And because of that, it's very dangerous to everyone. Quite literally, the entire reason this movie is happening, the entire thing that sparks the conflict in the first place, is literally a guy was too lazy to do his job correctly. A guy was too lazy to put in basic security features on his own creation. They even talk about it in the movie, like, oops, I guess I glossed over that part, tee hee hee. Like, come on! The motivation behind why things are happening feels as shallow as a kiddie pool. Why are all these horrible things happening? Because a dude was lazy. Why is this bad person doing all these bad things? Because they're gay and horny. But in the end, this was considered a very experimental movie of its time. Would I consider it a good movie? Nope, not really. Would I consider it an interesting movie? Yes, absolutely. While the movie didn't blow me away with any amazing storytelling, it did do a lot of weird and interesting things throughout that still made it entertaining enough. I would recommend this movie only if you're going into it with the mindset of, I want to see some weird stuff happen. If you do that, then you'll have a great time with this movie. If you expect anything more, then you're gonna have a bad time. So, if I intrigued you enough to watch it, I definitely recommend going with the sub, as the dub is just sort of alright. In addition, don't watch this on Amazon's streaming service. The quality of the bought HD version is literally worse than the free alternatives that I found on the internet. Why is that? I wish I knew. Also, keep in mind, this review is from my perspective as a smooth-brained foxboy. I've seen some other reviews that give this movie a lot more praise and talk about the deeper meanings of the film and its background, but I don't really know anything about that stuff. All I have to go off of is my own experiences. Which, all in all, it wasn't that bad of an experience. I just wish it was a better experience, as this movie had a lot of potential to do some really amazing stuff. The fact that it fell so short of what it could have been is what disappoints me the most. But on a lighter note, if you liked the video, please pat the like and subscribe button for more. And if you're interested in dreaming, I also have several other videos about that as well. But anyways, I'll see y'all next time. Good night. Wait, no, come back! There's one more thing that I wanted to mention, the music. In the movie, the music quality sounds like it was ran through a blender. But when I listened to the original album on Spotify, I found myself really liking it. It's a really beautiful mix of orchestrated chaos that really captures the weirdness of dreams. Here's some of my favorites from it. But anyways, that's it. For real this time. Bye now.